everyone, good morning. It is a Sunday morning today, and I'm gonna be transplanting my plants. I'm coming to you in full authenticity about how I'm arriving today. Haven't done my hair, don't have really any intentions because I'm really feeling this not even, like bedhead, disheveled me right now. And yeah, I went into this expecting to plan and film an entire video on how to transplant your plants from seedling pots into the pots that they'll probably spend the rest of their time in until they go outside. And I kind of want this to be a really intimate time between me and my plant babies. I'm definitely gonna give you give you instructions on how to transplant your seedlings into these larger pots, but I don't really think it's gonna be that long of a video. I'll give you an example, like a direct tutorial, and then I'll film the rest. I'm not gonna film the rest of the footage of me doing it with my plants. I really just want that to be my time with it. But yeah, this is a very exciting time. If you're here, congratulations to you and your plants for surviving the first few weeks before you transplant. It's a new transition, and with that, your plants are going to need lots of attention, lots of care, and the care is going to look slightly different, but very similar as well. But always observe your plants, especially during this transition, to really honor and see what it is that they need, and if they're responding well to similar conditions that they were in when they were seedlings, right? Because that might not be the case. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's everything for this intro. Let's get into it. So this is what we'll be using. We have our organic potting mix for vegetables and herbs. I decided to try out Miracle-Gro. I only bought one package, and I'm gonna see how they do in here before deciding what soil I'll be using when I plant all of these things outside. Of course, we have our super handy labels. We have, I think, 7 pots. This one is what, 3 liters? And then these ones are, I don't know, but they're larger than this. And then of course we have all of our seedlings that we are going to be transplanting today. Two things I'll be using to help get the seedlings out, just a spoon. I'm going to be using the stem of the spoon. I forget the handle, that's what it's called. I like the stem of the spoon. I'm going to be using the stem of the spoon to get the seedlings out, and then this will be handy to use to separate any root systems as gently as I can without harming the plant. And then also just to create holes in the larger pots to put the transplants in. So before we begin doing any of that, we are first and foremost going to fill our pots with our potting mix. And so this is what we have right now. The soil is quite moist, which is really fantastic. I would recommend, if you have access to any good compost, to add some compost to the mixture. When I went to the store, they only had composted manure, and I was just not feeling that. And so I'm going to be looking for some compost that I can then mix into my potting mix. But right now my seedlings need to leave my seedlings, so I'll be doing that. And if I find any good composting, what I'll do is I'll mix, I would say 1/3 of the soil, 1/3 compost, the rest potting mix, especially because these are going to be container grown food. and container grown food needs more nutrients than food that is grown in ground. So I will be doing, looking for a really good compost and adding some of those delicious nutrients to the soil to assist in that. There are also many ways, different ways to compost. I might even add some direct composting, like perhaps some banana leaves or some eggshells or something at like the bottom of the mixture to assist with some added nutrients. We will see, actually. We'll see. But this is what we have so far, filled right here to this lining. And I'm gonna do tomatoes. I'm gonna show you how to replant our tomato plants as an example for this video. So what I did first was created some like impromptu holes about the size of the seedlings, and I'm going to now use the stem of the spoon. We're gonna do our glacier tomatoes here, and I'm gonna put them here inside the pot and lift them up gently and place them directly into here, patting it in, and so the soil is firm around the stem. What's fantastic about tomato plants is that they'll grow roots along the stem, and so I always recommend planting tomatoes deeper than here. So these tomatoes I'll probably plant, like, I would say, can you see that? Like about here before the true leaves. Some people, when they plant them outside as well, they plant them a bit horizontally, but that's another thing. But essentially I'll be doing that to assist in a stronger root system, which you can never go wrong with. So that's what I'll be doing there. That's our root system. Ah! So here we have 2 plants within 1 cell. And so what I'm gonna do here is use this handy dandy, this is like a, oh my gosh, skewer stick? Those meat sticks. And basically, I'm gonna lay it down on my hand around here. The root system is really strong, and so you wanna cause as little damage as you can in separating it. Ooh. Oh, darling, 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 darling. Shake that. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And now we have 2 separate root systems. We're gonna make sure to plant these ones deep, because it doesn't have as much of that support of our other that our other plants had, in regards to having the entire seed starting mix around it that will help it adjust to the soil. So we're gonna make sure that it's deep and well supported by the soil around it. Yes, to keep those stems nice and strong, which we love for our plants. Uh-oh. You gotta be very gentle with these like vulnerable babies. They're so vulnerable when they're going through a transition, like all of us are, truly. Oh, sweet babies. So this is what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 beautiful glacier tomato plants in one pot. These are not going to be all grown in the same pot. Depending on the size of the container that I grow them in, it'll be 1 per pot, perhaps 2. Tomatoes do take up a lot of room, so we'll see here, but this is really just to allow them some space to grow a bit more deeply and more fruitfully, as they need space beyond these tiny little cells. And this is what it looks like. You can see that they're planted quite deep along the stem, really just up to like where the first leaves are growing. And we're gonna keep our eye on these. We're gonna be following the same process of bottom watering. These ones have holes, as I try to make sure all of my pots do, and go from there. I will move on to cucumbers. I just have to say one thing I noticed. So first of all, look at how fabulous our cucumber root system is. Do you see that? And not only that, but one of my favorite things about growing vegetables is the fact that they smell exactly like their fruit does. This cucumber leaf smells like a cucumber, and so do all of the tomatoes. It's just like so cool. My gosh. I love this. So we're gonna replant our cucumbers now. Cucumbers are quite strong, but do not overestimate the fragility of any seedling, to be honest. These stems, I'm just so proud of these babies. I'm gonna plant this a little bit deeper. Just a little bit. Just a little. They smell so fresh. Where was I going? What was I saying? I don't remember. But these, oh yes, they're very fragile. Especially, for example, I'm gonna take out the next one, and the next one has 2 cucumber babies growing in one stem, right? And so we're gonna wanna be really careful with this, because while strong, they're very sensitive. And so let me actually make the holes first. Ugh, I cannot get over the smell. It is so cool. Oh my lordy. Okay. So we've got one there. Now we need the other hole. Oh my gosh, I'm actually in love and just very grateful. That's my space. That's where I am. Okay. So I see a good split to work my way through very gently, because I really want these babies to be well supported in their new home. Oh my gosh. I can feel these root systems are very, very, very entangled. That is okay. Here's what we're gonna do here. See what I'm working with here? So we're gonna like gently, very gently, very, very, very gently, without creating too much damage. This damage is almost impossible to not make when they're like that. Put them down, baby, down. Down, down, down. And you can see even that these ones that grew together in the pot together are smaller than the one that had its own space. They were also more demanding with water, which is normal and expected, because they're fighting for the same amount of nutrients, you know? So now we're gonna create our final hole for our final beautiful fresh burpless cucumber. Gosh. Okay. Et voila. How many times am I gonna say grateful in this video? Because I am. Look at these beautiful, thriving, handsome, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous cucumbers. So we have that here. So here are our cucumbers. We're gonna do 1 plant per container when we do eventually plant these. I'm still deciding on whether I want to use 5-gallon pots or if I'm going to use those plant bags. We're really gonna see, or if I just want to plant all the cucumbers together in a larger container. When we go over containers, I'll know by then. But these are our cucumbers. Also, you can see here I have the labels already. Glacier tomatoes, burpless hybrid cucumber. I have the rest of the ones that I'll be repotting today, and there we go. So I went to my garage and I found some of these pots that I've saved from the plants that I bought. And so I would recommend, if you have access to these, keep them in a place where you can keep them safe. And before you use them, before you reuse any pots, because these are all pots I'm going to be saving just to minimize waste, always wash them, because you'd want to make sure that as you're transplanting new plants into these pots, you're not also transplanting any diseases, any potential fungi. So give these pots a good wash with soap and warm water. And this is great to have handy because, well, we've got a lot of things here. Another thing that you can do, you can use for transplanting pots are mushroom containers. So those little blue or black plastic containers for mushrooms. I saved a bunch. I did not end up using them right now just because I'd have to put holes at the bottom and I do not feel like doing that at the moment. If you save those, and any small container that has a like the 5, anything higher than a 5 or higher. What's this? I can't even see. It doesn't even have anything. It's just a triangle, but that's okay because we know that it had plant life in it, so it should be okay. But anyways, any 5+ triangle rating, you know what I mean, is good to go. So yeah, mushroom containers I think are fantastic to use. I even saw a yogurt container, those like massive yogurt containers. That one has a +5. Most containers that carry food already, you can save and recycle them and use them as transplant pots. You just want to make sure that you're putting holes at the bottom always. I cannot overemphasize that. That's a great way to minimize waste and to also save money. I know some people even use foil paper, you know, like those like muffin tins. That's another affordable way to plant your seedlings and also to plant your seeds. You can literally just use an aluminum foil baking container and place whatever you want to place in there. So those are some options for you. So here we have our transplanted vegetables and herbs. We got pepper here. We have our glacier tomatoes, thyme, cucumbers, more pepper. This is our baby boomer hybrid tomatoes, our cabbage, our cilantro, basil, kale, carrots, chamomile, broccoli, et voila. That is everything we have transplanted. And I'm gonna set to bottom watering these we're gonna give them around 45 minutes to an hour, depending, of course, just checking to see. Once up here is nice and moist and spongy, we will take them out and replace them with the next batch. This might take longer just because it is a bigger pot. Still gonna fill this container up about 1/4 to 1/3 of the way and go from there. As always, as these plants are getting used to a new home, getting used to new soil, it's so deeply, unbelievably important to pay attention, give extra love, care, and attention to your plants, observe them. If they're speaking that they need more water or more sun or they're too crowded, they will let you know. Trust your intuition and respond accordingly to what you hear from them. Yeah, as our plants are being taken care of by you in their transition, I really do pray that you're able to take care of yourself in your own transitions and have access to the care that can assist you in making it through to the next stage of your life, whatever that looks like. See ya!